welcome back to my channel. My name is Alisha and I'm so excited to have you guys here. Last week I took a week off since my family and I were really sick, but I'm excited to be back. This week's video is going to be about 5 things that I didn't know being a new mom. My daughter was just born in January of this year. Number 1, the first thing that really took me by surprise was postpartum healing and recovery. I was very unprepared for what that would entail. I ended up having a 3rd-degree tear and had over 20 stitches, so I was not prepared to be as immobile or in pain as I was after the effects of delivering our daughter. It didn't allow me to do regular household chores like loading the dishwasher, laundry. Because of my stitches, was not able to hold our daughter for the entire 3 days that I was in the hospital. I just had to lay in bed, and we had to have a lactation consultant actually come into our room and lay in bed with me so I could figure out how to nurse our daughter while we were still in the hospital. One of the things that really helped me with healing is my mom was actually down here and she made me homemade ice packs. I also used the Freedom Mom brand. I really loved all of their postpartum recovery kits that they had. They had amazing ice packs and pads that were in there. And I also made little baskets for myself, and I would put them in all 3 of our bathrooms here in our house. That way I didn't have to run around every time I had to go use the restroom. I got an incredibly bad infection that was caught at my 4-week appointment, and I ended up having to be on really high dose of antibiotics. And while I was on those antibiotics, I was told by my care manager that I wasn't able to nurse or pump for our 5-month, or well, at the time, I wasn't able to nurse or pump for our month-old baby. Which brings me to number 2, which is breastfeeding is hard. I don't care how you do it, whether you're exclusively pumping or if you're actually nursing. It is one of the hardest things that I did as a new mom, and I was only able to provide breast milk for our daughter for 6 weeks due to the antibiotics that I got put on. I wasn't able to nurse her without a shield, and so that was really difficult. I didn't understand why she wasn't latching. It made my mental health just go out the window, and I wasn't able to hold her correctly because of my stitches. So the whole month after delivering my daughter was just a whole ride of emotions. With breastfeeding, I decided early on that I was just going to exclusively pump for her. That way my husband could help me out with feeding her, since it was so difficult for me to hold and feed her with having to use a shield and then just my stitches in general. And then when I got put on these high antibiotics, I went from pumping 5 ounces a session to 2 ounces a session, and the antibiotics fully dried up my supply within 24 hours of starting my first dose. We already had to co-mix with formula due to me being naturally just an underproducer. This was about the time that the formula shortage hit, so we had to come up with a contingency plan last minute to try and find a formula that would work for her, and we ended up finding one that was perfect for our needs and for our daughters. But then we didn't see it again, and for another 3 months. Just breastfeeding in general is incredibly hard. If you are someone that just needs encouragement, just know that you are doing an amazing thing. And if you are a formula feeding mom like I am, you are also doing an amazing thing providing for your daughter or your son. No matter how you're feeding your baby, it is one of the most difficult things being a brand new mom and also trying to heal postpartum. The 3rd thing I want to talk about is that there is no rule book or playbook on how you decide to parent your baby. There is no right or wrong. All it is just what works for you and your family. Which brings me to my next thing, is people are gonna be judgmental no matter how you do it, so you might as well just do it for what works for you and just be confident in your parental decisions, because your baby, their whole world is you, and so however it works in your family may not work for other people, and that's okay. And my last thing, this is my biggest topic that I want to bring awareness to, is that postpartum depression and anxiety is 100% normal. I'm someone that does have an anxiety disorder. I have panic attacks on a regular basis, but it's not something that I was expecting to be heightened after I delivered our daughter. I had a lot of nerves going into labor and delivery. I didn't really know what to expect. And so I was incredibly nervous for going home since I had so many stitches and my tear was so severe. I was really nervous to leave the hospital because I didn't want anything bad to happen. And looking back, even though I did get a really bad infection, everything ended up being totally fine. We even had a nurse while my husband and I were in the hospital tell us that it's even normal for your spouse to experience postpartum depression because this whole new chapter of life is new for you and them. This whole new world of providing and caring for an infant, or even now our daughter's 5 months old, it can hit at any time. It's very overwhelming. It's very hard on everybody in the house. So if you feel like your postpartum depression or your anxiety is more severe than it should be, I definitely recommend you talk to a healthcare provider to get the resources and the help that you need. Okay, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm working on a mini series right now of being a new mom, so stay tuned for any future videos. Make sure to like this video and give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and click this next video if you want to learn more about me. Bye guys.